Good morning, Arsene. Trip to Everton at the weekend. Could you give us your team news, please, particularly Gibbs and Arteta?
Look, we have just Mikel Arteta, which is for sure out for the Everton game. Everybody else we have to check this morning, but we had no major problem apart from Mikel.
How important is this game coming between the two Besiktas ties?
It's an important game for us. We have started well in the Premier League, and we want, of course, straight away to have a good result away from home. And Everton is always a good opponent that tells you where you are, and for us it's a good test.
There was a defeat up there towards the end of last season, and it was seemed pivotal at the time, but Arsenal managed to turn it around. What do you recall of that game?
Of the Everton game?
Yeah, the fact that Arsenal lost.
Well, that on the day Everton deserved to win, that we were unlucky with the goals we conceded because two of them were not regular. But on the day Everton was the better team. We had a little bit an off day, but I think in a season that can happen, and that we want to go there. We have as well beaten them in the FA Cup, you know, in a convincing way. So it will be interesting because it's a team now who is flirting with the Champions League places, and so it's a good test.
Arsene, it's coming to that time of year now, isn't it, when the transfer window is coming to a close. You've always said you're looking for more targets. Can you just sort of maybe update us on where you are with some of the names that I'm sure you're familiar with Costas Manolas and maybe Adrian Rabiot? Where are you looking, or maybe where are some of those names?
We are like you, we listen to the names, but sometimes I look who we buy in the medias, but at the moment, as I told you, we are not in an emergency case. We have the players we want, but we are open as well to any opportunity until the end of a transfer window who can strengthen our defensive department in quality and number.
So specifically, what you mentioned there, you're looking for, it's a defensive element that you're keen to maybe keep an eye out for.
Yeah.
In terms of defensive players that could come back, you mentioned the German element of your squad coming back into the side. Can you confirm that there's a...
Look, I will check, of course, today and tomorrow. They will be available for selection again. That's a target I have fixed to them to prepare to be ready for selection against Everton. Will I use the three? Certainly not, because they lack competition, and but they might be included, yes, for Saturday.
We've talked about names that may be coming in, but also you're aware there's always talk about players that could leave. Have you had any offers at all from...
We have no offer for anybody to leave.
Podolski or Joel Campbell, no offers?
For nobody.
Can I also ask just another question as well? Just looking at some of the young talent you've got coming through, Callum Chambers has impressed many. With the European qualifiers beginning soon, there's talk of him already being...
Yes, but look, I share completely your assessment on Callum Chambers. He has done extremely well, but I think as well in England you have to be a bit more patient. He has played 3 games, and I believe it's important for the development of the players that it doesn't go too fast, you know, not so much on the football front, but psychologically as well, that the players feel they hurdle after hurdle, they become stronger, and that it doesn't go too quick for them. For me, that's something that is very important in the development.
Can I also ask Arsene as well about the influence, you know, the season is young, but you've been working for a while, the influence of the fitness coach, the new fitness coach you've had in, is it Shad Fasai?
Look, people are part of the squad and of the staff to work, not especially to talk about them. What is important, the member of the staff are employed just to be part of the team, and that's all.
Arsene, how do you see this game against Everton? Is it a game where one of the criticisms against Arsenal last season was the sides around you and amongst the top 6 or 7, you didn't perform well. How do you, as a manager, how do you look to address that over summer?
Look, first of all, a team is life, and life is movement. That means the team doesn't stand still. We move forward and we improve. We have young players. That means every year they can be better. The team improves as well with success. What we had reasonable last year, and we were quite consistent overall in the season. So I think it's a good. We have a good opportunity to show tomorrow, in fact, that we moved forward and that we are stronger than last year.
But if you do sort of arrest or deal with that issue with the fact that you weren't picking up the points against some of the bigger sides in the Premier League, surely you finish fourth.
We are not there yet. Your job is always to imagine a disaster, but my job is to believe in what I do and what the team does. And I think we have made 79 points last year. We want to make more this year. That's the reasonable target, because I think we have a more equipped squad to do that. And so let's start. We have started with 3 points against Crystal Palace. Let's do it again against Everton.
And you mentioned Callum Chambers earlier. Big test against Romelu Lukaku as well.
It's a big test, yes, but it was a big test to play against Dembaba on Tuesday night. You know, who was a strength in the Premier League, and he managed to do that very well.
Steve, Arsene, you said you're not an emergency case in terms of excuse me. You say you're not an emergency case in terms of bringing somebody in, but how likely are you to bring somebody in between now and the transfer deadline?
I can't tell you how likely I am. I just said to you we are open. I'm open to do it, and but it has to be linked with the needed quality. And I tell you something. You ask today 20 top clubs in the world, what do they look for? They look all for the same positions. That means that it's not necessarily out there.
There was talk, though, that you might be interested in a holding midfield player. Is that still the case?
We are not against that, no.
Everton were the surprise team in a way last season. Do you think they're going to be able to sustain that momentum this year?
Yes, they are, because they, as you just know, they have entered this season the bracket of the clubs who spend between 20 and 30 million pounds for one player. That means, of course, that behind that is the ambition to go into the top 4, and they were close last year, and they lost some pivotal games. I think about Crystal Palace that allowed us to get in front of them after they beat us, and but they have the quality.
And just finally from me, what have you made of Manchester United's start to the season?
They had a surprise defeat against Swansea at home, but I believe they have the quality, and Van Gaal really get the right balance. He has the experience and the competence to deal with that, and they will be one of the competitors to fight for the Premiership and the top 4.
Oxlade-Chamberlain came off the bench and had a real impact midweek. He's yet to start a Premier League game in your opening game. Is he in contention against Everton?
He is.
How about Joel Campbell in terms of firepower up front? Because a lot of people have been a little critical about goals.
Yes, when you don't score, people are critical about goals, and I agree with them. But we had chances. Having watched the game again, I believe that we had the chances against Besiktas, and much more than we had against Crystal Palace. But Joel Campbell can contribute to that. At the moment, he had not got his chance, but he will get it.
Having chance to digest the Crystal Palace result and having been away in Europe as well, how have you felt the start of the season has gone for you?
quite well. Look, we beat Man City. After we beat Crystal Palace, we played draw at Besiktas. The only thing I would say, since the start of the season, when you consider that Man City is the start of the season, we were defensively stable. They've conceded only 1 goal on set piece against Crystal Palace. So in open play, we didn't concede. That means that the structure of the team is quite right. But we want to create more offensively and to score more goals.
Mikel Arteta, has he had a scan yet? I mean,
he had a scan yesterday afternoon. I haven't got the results. I will get it. I have a meeting at 10 o'clock this morning to make a checkpoint about that.
Okay, so, but at this stage you have no idea if it's
No, I don't know how long he will be out for.
Hypothetically, if it was serious, would that force your hand in the transfer market? Or do you think you've got...
Look, we would be a bit short, of course. If it's a long-term injury, that puts us in a position where we have to be creative.
Cesc Fabregas made his debut for Chelsea on Monday. Did you see the game? No, you weren't.
I watched the game, yes.
Was it strange to see him in a Chelsea shirt?
Yes.
Is it difficult for you to see him? Because he obviously played very well. Is it difficult to see him perform?
Look, no, I think what you have to accept that professional players move from club to club, and it was difficult for him, for me, to see him leave us. After once he has left us for one club, you accept the idea that he can move to some different clubs. But of course, it was a bit strange, but he had a good game.
Do you have any regrets over how that was handled in the summer? Because there was a suggestion that he had an option to...
I have no regret about that at all. My regret is that he left us.
Arsene, Mikel Arteta has said that Aaron Ramsey could in fact replicate the success that Cesc Fabregas had at this club. Do you agree?
Yes, that's good in life, you know, where somebody moves out and somebody else takes over, and Aaron Ramsey has developed. It's a different style to Fabregas, but he has developed into a player with a huge potential, and I think there's more coming out of Aaron Ramsey in the future. He's younger than Cesc, and the potential is there to get more out of Aaron.
If Roy Hodgson gives you a call and says, I'm thinking about calling Chambers up, will you say, hang on a second, give him a bit of time?
I will say, hang on, Roy, yes.
Because is that maybe a danger with him? You've seen it with Wilshere.
Look, it's very difficult for me to say that, because I do not want as well to stop Chambers. Every player dreams to play for England. I do not want to say that he has not to be selected, because I'm very happy if Callum Chambers is selected for England. What I mean is that the player gets the opportunity to show how good he is. That's fantastic. That the players get the feeling they have already made it, that's much more dangerous, you know. And I think Chambers is intelligent enough to make a difference in that, because he has played only 2-3 games now at centre-back at the top level.
You said you analysed the performance in Besiktas with the second leg in mind. Does that mean you have to balance up caution of not conceding what should be difficult? You know, dropping with the away goal, because they're very dangerous if they get that.
They're, of course, the ideal, but I would say even if you concede, the target is to win the game. We conceded against Crystal Palace and still won the game, you know. And we have the task is clear. We are at home. We want to qualify for the Champions League group stage, and the target is to win the game. And no matter what happens, I think we have a potential to win the game.
Awesome. Back to Everton. Did it surprise you that they paid so much money for Lukaku, considering they don't really spend that kind of money?
It was a surprise, because they refused until now to do it, but that's the price to pay for ambition nowadays, you know. They're ambitious, what is good, what makes the Premier League even more interesting, but it's the first time they did it. And it's good to see that everybody in the Premier League is very ambitious.
How How highly do you rate Lukaku?
I like him very much because he's a good mixture of physical presence and technical quality, and he has. I like his attitude. His attitude is full of desire, and that is a big part in the success of a centre forward.
Okay, guys, thank you very much.
Thank you.